Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to our kindergarten classroom. My name is Theresa Bibbs. I am a literacy teacher development specialist in the elementary literacy curriculum and development department. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let's get started. Today, boys and girls, we're going to be reading aloud a text entitled Red Knit Cap Girl to the Rescue by Nalco Stoop. Red Knit Cap Girl to the rescue sees a polar bear cub stranded off the coast. She builds a paper plane and rescues him. Soon, she carries him back to her forest. Carrying him back to her forest presents a problem. Polar bears don't live in forests. Fortunately, Red Knit Cap Girl builds a sturdy paper boat and sets sail for polar bear cubs' true habitat. Boys and girls, this text is fiction, and I want you to think about, what does that mean? What will we read about today? Well, fiction tells a made-up story about characters, places, and events. Now, let's take a look at our 4 vocabulary words. These are vocabulary words that we are about to encounter during our read aloud. Let's take a look at them together. The first word is rescue. Say the word with me, boys and girls. Rescue. Rescue is an act of saving or being saved from danger. The word is rescue. Our next vocabulary word is telescope. Say the word with me, boys and girls. Telescope. A telescope is a device used to form magnified images of distant objects. What's the word, boys and girls? Telescope. Our next word is sturdy. Say the word with me, boys and girls. Sturdy. Sturdy is strongly and solidly built, able to withstand rough use. The word is sturdy. Our last vocabulary word is orcas. Say the word with me, boys and girls. Orcas. Orcas are the largest of the dolphins and one of the world's most powerful predators. The word is orcas. Those are our vocabulary words that we'll encounter today during our read aloud, boys and girls. Let's take a look together. Now, boys and girls, let's take a look at our anchor chart together. We are getting ready to set a purpose for reading our text today. Good readers think about the reasons why we want to read the text before we read it. Good readers always set a purpose for reading. Today, let's look at our 2 common purposes: reading for fun and reading to learn. When we're reading for fun, we are reading to enjoy a story, play, or poem. When we're reading to learn, we are learning information about a topic or how to do something. Setting a purpose helps to focus our reading so we know what to pay attention to. So, boys and girls, I want you to think about, while we're reading aloud today, what should our purpose for reading this fiction text be? Can you think about and tell me the purpose in a full sentence? Should our purpose be reading for fun, or should it be reading to learn in our fiction text today? Think about it. As I am reading, I want you to think about, are we reading this text for fun or to learn? Let's go. It is a windy day in the forest. Red Knit Cowgirl and her friends are playing together. What's that on the water? Asked Red Knit Cowgirl. She looks through her telescope. She sees an SOS out on the water and something else. Boys and girls, I would like for you to turn to someone in the room and ask them, what do you think it is? It's a polar bear cub. Boys and girls, how do you think polar bear cub feels? I see him out in the water, stranded on a piece of ice. And it looks like he's crying. Why do you think he's crying? Would you turn and talk with someone in the room and tell him, how do you think polar bear feels and why is he crying? Let's find out together. He needs our help, she says. Come on, white bunny. They bring polar bear cub back to the forest. Your family and friends must be looking for you, says Red Knit Cap Girl. That evening, Red Knit Cap Girl calls out gently to the moon. Moon, we are trying to find our polar bear cub's family. Can you help us? Moon smiles and says, Polar bear cub doesn't belong in our forest. You must take him to the north, where there is ice and snow, and it is cold all year round. The next day, Red Knit Cap Girl makes a sturdy boat. Bear, hedgehog, and squirrel help make the sail. Hmm, I wonder why Red Knit Cap Girl and her friends are making a boat. Would you turn and talk? And would you tell someone in the room why you think Red Knit Cap Girl and her friends are making a boat? I'll give you a moment. Let's see together. They sail north in search of Polar Bear Cub's home. I hope it's not too far away, says Red Knit Cap Girl. Follow the light of the moon, calls Owl. They sail and sail until they encounter a storm. Dark clouds cover the sky. Hold on tight. Soon the clouds clear and a friendly pair of orcas guide them back on course. As they travel north, the air grows cool and the sky fills with color. How beautiful, says Red Knit Cap Girl. She wonders if her forest friends are looking up at the same sky. The next morning, they arrive at a land made of ice and snow. Is this your home, Polar Bear Cub? Red knit cap girl asked. Polar bear cub looks around. There don't seem to be any other polar bears here. Then they hear something coming toward them. Boys and girls, what do you think is coming toward them? Turn and talk to someone in the room. I'll give you a moment. What do you think it is? Let's find out together. Mama! It's polar bear cub's mama. Did you guess correctly, boys and girls? Polar bear cub and mama thank red knit cap girl and white bunny for bringing him home. Soon it is time for red knit cap girl and white bunny to return to the forest. Goodbye, polar bear cub. We will always remember our journey together. And they flew off into the starry sky. The end, boys and girls. Did you all enjoy the story we just read? I hope so, because I did. I want you to think about it. What was your favorite part of the story? Hmm. My favorite part of the story was when Polar Bear Cub was reunited with his mother. It's always so nice to be reunited with someone you love. So, boys and girls, as we conclude our reading time together, I want you to think about how you can always set a purpose before you begin reading. And remember, good readers think about the reasons why we want to read before we begin reading our text. You can set a purpose before reading, and that purpose could either be for fun, which is to enjoy a story, a poem, or a play, or the purpose could be to learn information about a topic or how to do something. So remember, boys and girls, good readers always set a purpose. Thank you so much for reading with me today because our purpose was for fun. So I hope that you enjoyed this read aloud with me today. See you soon. Bye bye. Welcome to our reading lesson, boys and girls. Here are our learning objectives for today. First, we're going to identify the problem and resolution in our text. And next, we are going to state the problem and resolution in our text using complete sentences. Before we begin our reading lesson, let's take a look at our anchor chart, focusing on plot development. The plot of a story often includes a problem and a resolution. The problem is something that goes wrong or causes trouble. The resolution is the way a problem is fixed or resolved. I will be rereading some pages from our text, Red Knit Cap Girl to the Rescue, to help you identify the problem and resolution, and also be able to state the problem and resolution in complete sentences at the end of our story. It's a polar bear cub. He needs needs our help, she says. Come on, White Bunny. They bring Polar Bear Cub back to the forest. Your family and friends must be looking for you, says Red Knit Cap Girl. Boys and girls, how can you tell something is wrong with Polar Bear Cub? If you guessed that he is crying because he is crying, you are correct. So why do you think Polar Bear Cub is crying? You guessed correctly, because he is lost and far away from home. Polar Bear Cub misses his family and friends. How can you tell that, boys and girls? Well, the picture shows him floating away from an elderly polar bear, possibly his mama, and the text says, your family and friends must be looking for you. Boys and girls, Polar Bear Cub is lost. When we have the problem in the story, remember, it's something that goes wrong or causes trouble. So let's think about what our problem is. What is the problem in Red Knit Cap Girl to the rescue? I want you to take out a pencil and your reading journal. If you don't have your reading journal with you, it's okay. You can take out a piece of paper, but you will need paper and a pencil so that you can go ahead and draw the problem. So what is the problem in Red Knit Cap Girl? I'll give you a moment. If you drew a picture of a polar bear, boys and girls, you are correct. Polar bear was lost off the coast. Let's continue to reading to find out the resolution. How will Polar Bear Cub get home to his family and friends? The next day, Red Knit Cap Girl makes a sturdy boat. Bear, Hedgehog, and Squirrel help make the sail. Red Knit Cap Girl builds a boat to take Polar Bear Cub home. They sail north in search of Polar Bear Cub's home. I hope it's not too far away, says Red Knit Cap Girl. Follow the light of the moon, calls Owl. The next morning, they arrive at a land made of ice and snow. Is this your home, Polar Bear Cub? Red Knit Cap Girl asked. Polar Bear Cub looks around. There don't seem to be any other polar bears here. Then they hear something coming toward them. Mama! Polar Bear Cub and Mama thank Red Knit Cap Girl and White Bunny for bringing him home. Polar Bear Cub was far away from home. Red Knit Cap Girl and White Bunny brought him back home to his mama. So boys and girls, I want you to remember that the resolution has to solve the problem. It has to get Polar Bear Cub home to his family and his friends so that he isn't lost anymore. Polar Bear Cub wants to be in his true habitat. So boys and girls, with your paper and pencil, why don't you draw me a picture of the solution, the resolution. So boys and girls, think about, how did Polar Bear Cub get home? That's right, boys and girls. If you drew red kneecap girl building a boat, you are correct. So let's think about how does how does this solve Polar Bear Cub's problem? He was lost. He was far away from home. And Red Kneecap Girl and White Bunny brought him back to his home with his family and friends to his true habitat. Boys and girls, now it's your turn to show what you know. Using your pencil and your paper, I would like for you to use sentence frames to write complete sentences for the story's problem and resolution. So boys and girls, write on your paper, the problem is, and draw a line with a blank so that you can fill in the blank and tell me what is the problem in Red Knit Cap Girl to the Rescue. I'll give you a moment. Then I want you to write down the resolution. The resolution is blank. Fill in the blank, boys and girls. Write out a complete sentence telling me what the resolution is. I'll give you a few moments, and then we're going to check your complete sentences together. The problem is Polar Bear Cub is lost. You're correct, boys and girls. If you wrote the problem is Polar Bear Cub is lost, you are correct. The resolution is Red Knit Cap Girl builds a boat to take Polar Bear Cub home. You are correct again, boys and girls. Excellent work. Boys and girls, we've reached the end of our lesson. So let's talk about what we've learned today. The plot of a story often includes a problem and resolution. The problem is something that goes wrong or causes trouble. The resolution is a way the problem is fixed or solved. Thank you so much, boys and girls, for learning about problem and resolution with me today. I look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.